Shit, I think this is the only episode I've been where you both have been here.
Mafia. JP here. Literally just showed up a minute ago. Wasn't going to make it tonight, but I'm here. Got Josh with us.
Right on
Mike
time.
with us from Mike Farrell. Check him out. Chaos Theory Podcast at Chaos. Is it at Chaos Theory _pod? I always screw that up.
It's Chaos _Theory Pod.
Theory Pod. Okay. One of the best podcasts going.
So you just went and got stuck.
Yes. I actually got a sticker, but it's in the other room that says I got vaccinated.
Dude, I can't. If you become a mutant before I do, I'm going to be so pissed.
That's funny.
No shit. So, Timber just got her second shot this week, and she didn't feel so well.
No, everybody's saying after the second. I've had one friend who had issues after the first shot. That's kind of the way I did it tonight with the long weekend coming up. I had, but most people are saying after the second shot.
You feel better, or
no? The second shot has the worst effects. But I'd rather have those side effects than have COVID. You know what I mean? What's up, Rob? Bobby D. I just told Bobby D I wasn't going to be here. We were just messaging on Facebook. Surprise!
I literally have everything done from like our mad rush for Christmas and all that stuff. Since everything's kind of over now with the fun stuff. Oh yeah, Just remember, every yawn is an opportunity for a missed blowjob. So JP, here you go.
You're not sticking anything in my mouth again, Josh.
Oh my god!
Keyword of that phrase is again.
It was so hard.
I'm glad you caught that.
I even adjusted, for those that aren't watching, even adjusted the graphic with the promo tonight for Podgo.
My hero just came in the chat room. Tommy Flynn. What's up, Tommy?
I got Tommy Flynn's box ready to go with his fig.
Awesome.
I threw in an autograph and some other stuff, and then I got Bobby D's the Christmas one all ready to go. Some other stuff, but I'm excited to give away the Ricochet fig tonight. I even did the wheel. Like the wheel is even complete.
I don't know. Look at how Mike looks right now. This is the best Mike Farrell's ever looked in his life.
You are not even lying a little bit.
For everybody not watching, Ricochet.
If I could put Ricochet's face on my face all the time, I would be a happy fucking man.
For those who are listening and not watching live, one, watch us live.
Yes,
we're pretty funny. But two, there's a Ricochet picture that just ironically wound up superimposed over Mike Farrell.
That's fine. So I have to show you guys this because I got it at Mission Pro.
We relegate for Rucker. That's Masha Slamovich's autograph, man. She signs a lot like Anthony or August Gray.
I will tell you guys now. Look, everybody listening and watching, if you don't know who Masha Slamovich is, stop.
You will.
After this episode, after you finish watching this episode, go on YouTube and look up Masha Slamovich. This woman is ass kicking. She can work. She's good people. She can talk on the stick. And
and she's new. She's not like been around forever. Like she's got a long time. So like a lot of these people that we talk about like this, like they have a lot of history behind them. There's not a lot. There's more in front of her than there is behind her.
Oh yeah, she's super new. The other one I wanted to tell you guys about to kind of pay attention to, there's this girl named Genocide. She is fucking, so to me, she looks like a fresh version of what Beth Phoenix was in the early 2000s. She's a fucking killer, bro.
Wow. Cool. Is she also down there in, because the Mission Pro, we might as well just talk about it. We'll talk about Mission Pro Wrestling, and we can sprinkle some AEW in there, and like the women's division and all that, because there's a massive difference between sports entertainment and women's wrestling that you get on AEW. That's a huge thing. I mean, it's different for me. It's I don't know, man. It's everybody has their own flavors, but there's been a lot of missed spots. But this Mission Pro, Thunder Rosa, like, dude, how much fun was it when you were there? Like Masha Slamovich, cool stuff or what?
Oh, dude, it was insane. One, I haven't been to a live wrestling show in 14 years. So to go to a live wrestling show around other like-minded, I mean, the best thing to call us is dweebs. We're all a bunch of grown-ass people watching pro wrestling. We're a bunch of wrestling nerds. It was fucking amazing, right? And then to meet Masha, to meet Genocide, to meet Allison Kay and Thunder Rosa and their champion La Rosa Negra, like all these women were fucking amazing people. And the great thing about this is there was no sports entertainment here. Like, this was wrestling. This was like when you talk about like Jazz and Ivory and, you know, those women that used to punch each other in the fucking mouth.
Well, hold on. I got to stop you there because Ivory was probably in one of the most sports entertainment companies in the world when she started.
Shimmer, whatever it was.
Wasn't Ivory in Glow at one point?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, maybe. But what I'm saying is, like, if you take Ivory
as Ivory, I get you.
Ivory, even in Right to Censor, was a badass. And that's what Mission Pro was. Mission Pro was like, there was character there. There was a lot of character there. There was some girls who needed to work on the actual in-ring stuff, but they went on first. They got that exposure first, right? By the time you got to a Genocide versus Holidead or a Rosa Negra, Holidead is dope. Rosa Negra versus Maddie Rinkowski and Thunder Rosa versus Allison Kay in the cage. You were like, okay, this is what polished women's wrestling looks like. There's character development. There's audience participation. There's everything looks crisp. Like, it was some of the best wrestling. Fuck women's wrestling. It was some of the best wrestling I've ever seen.
Now, how do you, like, we know Masha, she's been doing this for a while, but as far as watching her live and meeting her live, what kind of, like, everybody gives off an energy, right? In this, and it's kind of what we do. Like, when she was in the ring and her presence, like, can you talk a little bit about that since you were there? Was it, I mean, I know we're marks and all, but.
Yeah, I think her in-ring presence, like, she's figuring that out. There are certain things where she's playing this, at least at Mission Pro, she was playing this like Russian invader, and that's her whole thing, right? But she's trying to figure out, what does that really mean? Does that just mean I'm an asshole and I hate all Americans? Or does that mean I'm coming to take over your fucking way of life? So she's kind of figuring that out. But what was dope meeting her, I told her, the first thing I said to her, I said, hey, I know somebody who interviewed you recently. And she was like, who? I said, the Irish Whip. And she was like, I fucking love both of those guys. She was like, that is one of my favorite interviews I've ever done.
And it was like 5 in the morning. That was all you.
Dude, that was so much fun because I think it was 6 in the morning for me, but it was like 10 at night for her. Yeah. And it was only supposed to be a half hour, and I think we spent an hour and a half. Like, the pre and post interview was the fun stuff. That's where we got to talk about the mental health stuff, the nitty and the gritty and the dirt, and what makes her who she is. And like, JP and I, we're talking about that whole Cornerstone thing, when, like, she really reminds me of an MJF when he was in CZW and doing all the other stuff, when he went through Limitless, and then with him and now August Gray, Ace Romero. Now you got kind of the next generation in JP's boy up there from the Bell Time Club.
Yeah, the Prize City OG, Alec Prize.
Yeah, so I think it's just you put and we don't, between MJF and then August Gray, and then Masha Slamovich, I really think it is, I think it's just, you put a, and then August Gray, and then Masha Slamovich, I really think it is, 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 I really think it She's not going to stay in the U.S. very long, I don't think, unless she can get done what she wants to get done. And I think that's why she's here.
I think
you think she goes Japan?
Yeah. She misses Japan. Like, that's where her heart is. She's like Zack Sabre Jr.
I think she, except less rapey. Fuck Zack Sabre Jr. I think she comes here and takes over the U.S. independent scene. She is that good already. Like, in ring work wise, she's fucking on point. There were a couple of like missteps or whatever, and I think that was just timing between her and her opponent didn't really have that much chemistry. But Masha, if you like, I wish I would have recorded the match and kind of been able to give a play-by-play breakdown of the match. But there were things that she did, like moving back to catch her opponent. The way she would smack on her opponent's chest to make sure her hand was cupped so everybody in the audience heard it. Now, granted, there's only like 100 people at this show. It's not a giant venue. But if you're as young into wrestling as she seems to be, and to know to make that smack, you have to have that kind of cup in your hand to get that sound. And she's doing small little shit that they teach you. I love when people can do the basics perfectly and then build off of that. And that's what she does.
JP, have you watched any of her matches, any of her work, like over in Japan, or do you follow much of that at all?
I've seen some. I looked at some of her stuff when we were getting ready to have her on, but not a whole lot. And like, I'm so out of the indies now because I'm so used to being there.
I know, and it's. I think this is, and that kind of. I don't want to leave it behind, but I really appreciate like when you sent me those pictures when you met Masha, because when I did the interview with her, and it was kind of like the Nikita interview, it was a legit conversation, which most interviews really are, and that's where our JP and I's groove is just interviews. And dude, I appreciate you sending those pictures, because she's going to be one of those pro wrestlers, sports entertainers that. Like I'll follow. I'm gonna buy her shit. I'm gonna donate stuff, and she brings new things to the ideas. Like the gear that she has, that's a podcast paid for that.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's a I don't maybe no. I was Gorilla Pro something or other. I can't remember exactly which podcast or what it was, but yeah, I mean they sponsor gear, and it's it's smart.
Something. That's something RJ would do.
Hey, dude, if it got me exposure into getting into the business, it's something Chaos Theory would do too.
Well, RJ was sponsoring a lot of Limitless matches, and it got him showing up in Sports Illustrated. So,
yeah, I tried to sponsor Mission Pro, but it's so expensive, and right now, having just gone through the situation I went through, it's impossible.
Now. I can't wait till next year, Mania in Texas, to go to an independent wrestling show with you two.
Oh,
because I know you two don't get to a lot of shows.
Well, now, so this is the great thing. The great thing is now not only do I have Mission Pro, which is about an hour away from me in a little ass town called Buda, B-U-D-A, Buda, Texas, but San Antonio has its own.
JP, can you say that? Can you say butter?
Butter? Tommy, I believe it's on there, Tommy.
It's on there, Tommy. I made sure.
San Antonio has its own indie circuit called River City Wrestling. So I'm going to start getting into that too. What I really dig about Mission Pro is the fact that it's all women. Like one of their co-owner is a man, but all of their refs are women. Their announcers are women. Thunder Rose, like all their main talent is women. Their champions are women. Like it's fucking dope. And I told this to Genocide. I said, and Allison K. I think women's wrestling up and down, WWE to independence, is better than men's wrestling right now.
And that's how it should be. Like we had a women's wrestling promotion up here a couple of years ago, and it's defunct now, but they had one guy. The refs were male, because we didn't really have any women ref in the area at the time. But as far as like people on the show, they had one guy, and he was a manager, and that was just to, one, make the girls look a little better, and two, it was like the equivalent of having a women's match on a men's show. It was kind of just something different. He was like an attraction on there.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I guess you, dude. I'm happy that we get chances to do this. JP, we were watching before you came on here. We were watching a nice little piece of history, the 5-on-5 ROH versus CZW.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we were watching the Bryan Danielson at that time turn on Samoa Joe after he came out and was out there with Claudio Castagnoli.
Remember when Bryan Danielson was the best in the world?
Oh yeah.
I wonder where CM Punk came up with that idea.
You know what's cool about that match, and I could probably find it, is when Eddie came out. Eddie Kingston came out, and Chris Hero introduced him as the fifth piece of whatever for CZW. Do you know what belt he was carrying? Do you know what belt he was carrying when he came out?
No.
Chikara. Yeah.
The first and longest reigning, I think.
Yep, longest reigning Chikara Grand Champion ever, 900 and some odd days.
I think he was the first.
Yeah, he just, yeah.
CZW always got, like, I know, Josh, your thing is death matches. I'm not a death match guy. I fucking hate all that bloody, gory bullshit. Like, they're cool when they're done right. They can be fucking amazing. Some CZW death matches, I'm like, okay, this is fucking amazing. Like, I know who Necro Butcher is because I've seen shit on YouTube because some of his shit is really dope. I was so much more of an ROH and New Japan guy because I like the technical aspect over the just ultra blood and violence and gore.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I loved both because CZW also had the best of the best, which was a tournament that they would put on when they would bring in those guys. Tessa Blanchard was in it. Lufisto was actually the first woman to actually compete in the best of the best, not Tessa Blanchard, even though they tried to rewrite that history. That's incorrect. It was Lufisto that was the first one to ever compete in a best of the best as far as a female athlete, not Tessa Blanchard. So
one of the coolest things I ever saw in wrestling was Necro Butcher versus Samoa Joe. The two of them literally just got two folding chairs and just sat down and started slapping each other in the face, like just trading shots.
Just
but sitting down, just facing each other. Wham, wham, wham.
Just smacking each other left and right, right?
You want a cool Necro story?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
My buddy Matt, right? He so originally, this goes back to the movie The Wrestler. Originally, so the movie was written for Mickey Rourke, but they didn't think they could get Mickey Rourke, so they were pitching for Nick Cage. Nick Cage was down, and Nick Cage has a place on the Cape, Cape Cod. So he was gonna train up here during one of his summers with my buddy Matt, training him for the movie. And whatever happened, and it wound up being Mickey. They got the opportunity at Mickey Rourke, so they took it instead of Nicolas Cage, and he trained down at WXW. So they said to my buddy Matt, "We're going to let you audition for the movie." And Matt was a bigger guy, had long hair, looked real rough. Was kind of like a rugged dude. And they said, do you know who Necro Butcher is? We want you to play this Necro Butcher type of character. And he was like, yeah, sure. I know who Necro is. Cool. I can do that. So he goes and auditions to be Necro Butcher and then loses the part to Necro Butcher.
Well, if you're going to lose.
Yeah. If you're gonna lose it, you may as well lose it to the guy. But that's a little history on The Wrestler that a lot of people don't realize.
You want to know some other history about that match, that 5-on-5? You know who else was in that match?
Who?
It was Adam Pearce.
Scrap Daddy AP?
Yep, he was in that match as well on that 5-on-5.
I've never seen anything he's ever done, so I need to go back and do my research on him. But
he was probably I think if Justin Credible hadn't been around and he got confused so many times with Justin Credible, and I mean that in all seriousness, because he's talented, man, and he would always get confused with Justin Credible. I feel like.
What about the
get
text I
injured and
sent
that's
you
why
Wednesday?
Did Adam Pearce get injured and that's why he retired? Or he just said fuck it?
I think he just got offered the job.
Well, I mean, if they're gonna pay, I'm imagining, because he looks like that super kick he took from Jey Uso was like, oh, this motherfucker knows how to work. So, it looks like he liked to work. So if they're gonna offer you, it looks like they probably offered him enough money to say, okay, let me take kind of a step back and do this for the right amount of money.
I really look at this. If you look at it as a corporate entity, right? If you look at Adam Pearce and what he has to offer, I mean, even look at Carino and what he's doing behind the scenes right now for WWE. Those type of guys understand their value to the next generation, and they understand that the impact that they could have is a little bit, I think, more up their alley and what they want to do with the youth. Because I think, like a Steve Carino, I mean, he's been through some shit, and I think he likes to teach the youth, like, this is me, this is what happened, these are the choices not to make, and these are the choices that you should make. I think evidence of that is if you follow Colby Carino on social media, some of the stuff that he puts out there is some deep stuff that this kid, when he gets his chance, there's going to be some pretty cool cerebral stuff that goes on. I mean, who'd have thought, like, in 2021, we're talking about more about Mustafa Ali, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, this next generation of stars than we are anything else. Like John Cena he's old, man. He's old, right?
But Cena's going to show up. I know he says he doesn't have room on his calendar for WrestleMania.
Whatever.
Yeah, but it's wherever he shows up, the crowd's going to go nuts for him.
Maybe not. I mean,
and it's not like Hogan.
Yeah, John Cena hasn't called anybody the N-word publicly, so
I don't know. He had that little rap career like you.
Yeah, but I definitely don't say
you don't. Yeah.
Let's throw that out to anybody listening. I do rap, but no N-words coming out of my mouth.
Can I point out how I elevated your rap career?
Absolutely.
So you did that first song, sort of like the theme song for Full Press Coverage, which if you guys haven't checked out Full Press Coverage, make sure you go over there. And I commented on it. I said, yeah, it's a cool song, but where's the bars? There's no bars.
The what?
And you've put out like 2 or 3 songs since then that have just outbarred pretty much anything out there now.
What is he saying?
Bars.
Oh.
Yeah, I know it's hard when those guys drop their R's, but bars. Bars.
I just want to say I elevated your career in your.
I will give you credit for. So the first time I heard you call me out on I think it was Irish Whip. I think it was a you guys show. I heard you call me out on saying that you want to battle.
Hell yeah, we still got to do that.
The first thing that came to my mind was like, I'm gonna Drake this motherfucker, and I'm gonna put out three whole songs before you could ever reply.
No.
And then
one, you don't have daylight to write your songs the way Drake did.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. But the second thing that came to my mind was like, one, you're right. I don't have the time or a ghostwriter. Second off, like, we know each other and we're cool. We're friends. I consider us really good friends, but I don't know you like that. To put out 3 diss songs, like
there's no way to go personal on it, which is kind of the point of it, because you can say whatever you want, and I'm not going to take it personal.
Well, yeah, but the whole point of a diss, like if I was to do a song with 2 verses and to write a diss, if I'm going to diss you, I'm going to try to cut your throat. Like, and with you, it's not like you've ever been a fucking dickhead to me or you've ever been disrespectful. Right. So I'm the kind of rapper that, look, even if we're joking back and forth, I unless you've been a real bitch to me, I can't just slam you like that. My mind doesn't work that way. That's why, like, when you called me out with the bars, I was like, oh, this motherfucker thinks I can't rap for real. Hold on, let me show him I can really rap.
Well, the perfect transition is rapping, and it's that time of the day, JP. where we speak to a new year that brings us a new beginning for all the listeners that own a business. So, JP, do we consider this a business or not? We don't, do we?
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
This is sort of a small business.
I don't know. We're kind of a business.
No. I'm filing taxes right now. No, we do not consider this a business.
for the IRS purposes, this is not a business.
Yeah, this is not the IRS whip. It's the Irish whip.
Anyway, so as we progress into a business, right, JP?
Yeah.
A new year brings a new beginning. For all the listeners that own a business, I want to tell you about FedEx Office. If you are just starting out or have been running your company for generations, FedEx Office gives you the best way to print marketing materials, posters, signage, graphics, and so much more. With FedEx, creating, editing, saving, and ordering are fast and easy. We are teaming up with FedEx and Podgo to bring our listeners 30% off your next order of $100 or more at podgo.co/FedEx. That's podgo.co/FedEx for 30% off your next order. FedEx, the world on time. There you go, JP. So when I use FedEx when we send our figs out.
Yes.
But, yeah, we are FedEx Business. That's the easiest way to do it is FedEx Business and podgo.co/FedEx. Capital FEDEX. 30% off.
Safe to say Free Fig Friday brought to you by FedEx this week.
Absolutely. That'd be awesome, right? Free Fig Friday brought to you by FedEx.
Let me give a quick
Sunday.
quick plug for Podgo itself, man. If you guys are podcasters or know somebody that wants a guaranteed way to make a little bit of money, go with Podgo. Podgo.co. Sign up, do the form. When you sign up and then ask how did you hear about it, put the Irish Whip and Chaos Theory podcast so we can get a little bit of credit for bringing you to Podgo. But I'm telling you right now, and these guys can attest, they're still doing ad reads for them. Podgo is the shit.
Yes. Might submit in the ad tomorrow too.
Yeah, it works. It works in conjunction with other marketing, and we get a return on investment that makes sense for us. And the time that we invest and that they have continue to allow and put forth for podcasts like this for us to. I mean, it's kind of how we get the figs. It's kind of how we center in people. It's what we do. It allows us to improve things.
And they just redid the site. How easy the site's so easy to use right now.
Yeah, now they're redoing. I just talked to David, I think his name is, the other day. They're redoing the premium at the end of this month. So
you've been around Podgo so long, Mike. Like you're kind of the one that introduced us to it. Like you've been around it so long, you talk to them. Like I can't get in touch with them.
Yeah,
but the thing is, you don't need to.
No, you absolutely don't. The only reason I email them is because I had them do an audit of my podcast just to see, hey, what do you guys think I can improve on? And they were like, look, we don't know shit about wrestling, so we can't tell you really how to improve. You market the shit out of your show when it's out. You have good quality audio. They were like, you're good. You just need more time because I only have 28 episodes now. So
I'm gonna say this right now, and I was asked this in the chat there we put up. If you guys are out there and listen to this, 7:05 Eastern Fridays. This is what we do. We spin a wheel. We give away some figs.
We talk trash. We're a wrestling podcast. But we talk about everything.
Yeah, we're just here. We're here to hang out with our friends. Full Press Wrestling specifically is a great place. Full Press coverage is fun. I like to mess with the Browns, whoever the guys are that cover the Browns, because I'm a Steelers fan, so I like to mess with them. Also, I like to mess
with the Dallas podcast.
Yeah. Also, you still have time since we haven't given away the fig. If you haven't, just it's at Boots to the Face on Twitter. Just want to DM that real quick. Ricochet, if you're watching, just DM them Ricochet if you can before we spin the wheel.
You're such a dick.
The best part is, Mike, is like Josh has been on this campaign for what, 2 months now?
Yeah, at least.
And it just finally took off this week.
Rucker's fucking DMs. He's gonna end up making his DMs private, bro.
That's the goal. That's the goal. I don't want anybody to reach out to him. I want them to have to tweet, so he has to tweet back, and it makes it.
That's so fucking funny.
I will probably stop after this week because both Marty and Chris I think, tweeted mutually within a minute. Like one was "you cocksucker" and the other one was "this means war."
Oh, yeah.
No, I think that was both Rucker.
Was
But
it really?
here's the thing: is I'm going to call Rucker out now. Like he can't get us back. We're untouchable.
He keeps.
What's he going to do?
Nothing. I live in Montana. It's minus 79 fucking degrees here right now. What do you do?
You're literally like negative 30, right?
Oh,
it was minus 20 degrees this morning when we went and had dinner with
Jesus.
mom and dad, and that doesn't, like, if you look at the wind chill for tonight up in Glacier, you can fact check this all you want. East Glacier, I think, is minus 79 degrees with wind chill tonight.
Dude, I woke up this morning at 7 to go. So I just got recertified for the U.S. Concealed Carry Association to be firearms instructor. I woke up at 7:30 this morning. I got up and it's 37 degrees out in Texas. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why is it 37 degrees in Texas? But now you're saying negative like 30 degrees?
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good. Like, keep that bullshit away from me.
It's a different type of cold. Like when you get to 0, anything after that, it's irrelevant because it's just cold.
Painful.
Well, no, because like when you're down in the negative, when you're down past like the negative 15, I don't think I've ever been that cold, but that's dangerous. Like,
that's
instant frostbite, territory. Instant.
Yeah. So I wanted JP, so I didn't. I'm gonna tell a quick story. I'm on my way. You weren't supposed to be here, so Mike and I get to hang out. You showed up. Thank God you did. It's just, I'm glad you're here. Before we spin the wheel, I want to tell a story. I'm going down and I'm heading east, right? There's an intersection, stoplights right there. I'm heading east. I get through the intersection and this dude's hauling balls towards me. I'm probably going 25 at this time. So he's going at least twice my speed, headed my way. And he's like coming at me. So I have to swerve a little bit. I watch him go and he travels probably another, 100 yards where this intersection is. And I watch him in my mirror and he smacks this lady in the intersection. Like literally just boom, you can see it happen. So yeah, it was literally, what is that?
Masha, GCW.
Oh, yep. It was insane, dude. And I literally turned around. This dude he couldn't move. He was so drunk. Could not move. He was so drunk. And that was at 3:00 in the afternoon here in town. So that was like literally my, before we started this, my start to the day. So like there's nothing that can rattle my nerves anymore. And the cop was just insane. Calm and cool, collected. Just literally, I was cool with it. I was okay with it. It was fine.
That's fucking crazy, dude. So, I
like the wheel.
Before we get into this, I want to show you guys something. So, you guys have seen my US title.
Yes.
I'm getting the back of it re-leathered, and I think I'm gonna do this red dragon skin on the back of it. Can you see that?
How much does it cost to get re-leathered?
The guy who's gonna do it for me is only charging me $65 plus shipping.
65 plus shipping. He's gonna keep your belt.
I'll fucking.
I
am not the one to steal from.
He's gonna keep your belt.
Do you know where he is? Like, is he? Can you get to him if you needed to?
I could definitely drive to him. I think he's in Tennessee.
Is this business address a trailer?
No, he. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not having the whole belt re-leathered. Just the back of the leather's coming off. I didn't check out the belt when I first bought it, and there's some wear spots and shit that I want to get done. But, that red dragon leather is gonna be fucking sick.
That's kind of cool that they can do that for them. I mean, if you trust the guy, absolutely, right?
Yeah. I mean, he sold me my first belt. He sold me my my Big Eagle belt, so I absolutely trust him.
I was looking on Wish. Wish had a couple belts for about $200, but I don't know if I want to take the chance with Wish. Like,
I wouldn't.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't.
You wish you would have had a belt after you paid $100 for it,
right? I mean, you get something from Wish. It just won't be like
Intercontinental is spelled with an A, like Intercontinental.
Yeah.
There are some really good bootlegs though. Like,
Oh my God! Why did Chikara not have an Intercontinental belt? I might have to ask Green Ant that.
Oh wow,
dude! The U.S. champion I have is a bootleg. It's the IWGP US is a bootleg. There's some really good bootlegs out there.
What makes these? Well, I'm sure there's some really good guys out there making some really good bootleg products.
Yeah.
JP, I'm going to spin this wheel. Should we give this fig away? I'm excited to give away this Ricochet fig. I hope you win it there, Mr. K.
That would be dope. This would be one of the only figs that if my name landed on it, I'm not giving it to fucking anybody.
We did this music just for you too, JP. When you fucking want to jam out while we listen to some techno pop groove, whatever it is. This is going to land on Al. Oh, it's going to land on Chaos Theory.
No. The Fig Freak.
Full press?
Full press wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Did it jump to full press?
Look at that.
Full.
Now we have to find
wrestling.
out. Now we find out if they listen to the show or not.
Yeah, let's see if they listen to the show, because if they don't reach out, guess what? That fig ain't going up.
Oh, what I heard is if they don't reach out, it's coming to Chaos.
There you go. I should probably, that's probably not fair, because the reason I put that on there is so people can really see, like, we do, like, I do automate this stuff. I don't if it lands on that, like, I'm not just automatically picking names. I put it on there, so if it lands on there again, I can do it again. But we're not going to keep that thing. I want somebody to win.
For the record, I did just text Green Ant and ask him if he was ever the Intercontinental Champion.
The Intercontinental.
He's going to text back, of course, I still am.
That would be cool as fuck.
I am still the Intercontinental.
Intercontinental.
Oh, this is real.
This noise that you're playing.
Oh, no way. A WNS tweet's
Is
going to
it
win.
my connection, or is it a bad connection this week, or is it just me?
I kind of hear it wonky. The song plays wonky too.
Oh, that's because it's the type of song. The WNS tweet that I sent out earlier today. A Heavy Gods 77 retweeted that. So, well, Heavy Gods, if you reach out to us, we will absolutely get you that fig. If not, we'll figure out something else to do with it.
You have about.
We can't joke like that.
You have 14
we can't joke
seconds.
like that.
You have 14 seconds to reach out.
What was the name?
Seriously, we do everything we can to reach out and find these people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's fun, because just as fun as it is for individuals to get this, it's just as fun for us to see the tweet with them having it. Like, I'm always secretly waiting for the Haddocks boys to get another fig from us. Selfishly, that's me though.
What was the name that won?
It is on the wheel, JP.
I can't see the wheel. I'm looking at something else.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. It was from the WNS tweet that I sent out earlier today. I can tell you here.
Because I'm actually keeping a list, so we know. So when people reach out, we can verify.
Oh, you know what else too is Timber made the list from like the Christmas things. That's how I figured out like where, what, how, when, what we owed people to. Also, WNS. Since we're talking about that, if you guys haven't retweeted that, chance to win that Macho Man Randy Savage, that mini legacy championship title, like, seriously, go do it. Have you seen that thing? It's so cool. It's like it's pink, yellow, and white. It's just like your fig that's on its way. Heavy Gods 77, JP. It's at Heavy Gods 77.
Okay.
He's the winner of the Ricochet variant.
Congratulations there, Heavy Gods.
Of course he won. He's a god.
Oh, way to go. Should we talk some more wrestling? Should we run through some wrestling news that I kind of want to talk about, and you guys can give me your opinion on it and what you think?
Works for me.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Kurt Angle kind of breaking that stuff down and talking about how Vince actually punished Cedric Alexander for whatever he did? Are you guys cool with that? Like, are you guys cool with these former wrestlers talking about this stuff when they know what's going on?
So no, I am, because that's like an old school thing. Like if you screw up, you get fined, and then there's wrestlers court, and like Kurt Angle's been known for talking out anyway.
So you're like me, you're cool that you know that.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
But like, yeah, here's the thing: is like if you screw up at your job, you're gonna get written up.
Yes.
You can write a wrestler up, but what good does that do? So they fine them.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, I think it. Everybody's doing a podcast now, so everybody needs content. So the expectation of privacy for behind the scenes is gone. It's got to be gone. We all podcast, so we understand the need for content. But just as a fan, there's some shit behind the scenes I don't want to know about.
And if you want to interview, you can always do a fake interview with the WWE star if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Elvis, I'm telling you right now, if Ricochet retweeted our tweet and won, I would not send him the fig.
What the hell?
Nope. I would send it to PWG official and have him donate it.
I would send Ricochet 2 and ask for an autograph one back.
I would absolutely send that to him, and I don't know, man. I'm cool like that. Ricochet, the PWG, that era, like the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, the whole West Coast PWG stuff was the only real opportunity to connection to independent wrestling on the side that we had since Defy. Oh, and by the way, congratulations, Defy, on their contract as well as IWTV and being on Pluto TV. So if you have Pluto TV, a regular TV that has internet, you can get Pluto and you can watch some Defy as well as some IWTV on there. Impact was, maybe it's still on there, but it's going to be cool, man. That's super cool stuff as far as independent wrestling goes. So you wrestling court, JP, you're okay with, I mean, it's a business, right? If you get in trouble, you're going to get suspended, or if Vince is Vince. If you piss Vince off, that's, you get an example set of you. This is how it works. It is what it is. So it's just me asking these questions because the IWC is always so whatever, you know what I mean? That's just what it is. What do you guys think is going to be Roman Reigns' blockbuster announcement here tonight on SmackDown? I guess he's supposed to have some kind of blockbuster announcement involving the Universal Championship. Do you guys? You're so out of it, though, right? Is that what you're saying? You guys?
He bought a bigger table that he can be the head of now.
Head of? Yeah.
I love what they're doing with Roman. I don't, but as far as like the announcement, I don't know that he's not going to defend it. Like, what's the most heel thing you can do?
Not defend it, not show up. Do the Brock Lesnar. That's what you need to start doing, is doing the Brock Lesnar. That's the heel. That's what you do. Is you do exactly what you fought hard not to happen.
So Brock was an attraction. Brock should not have been at every show. Brock should have been at pay-per-views. Brock is 6'8", 6'9", and built like a fucking machine. Like, he's an attraction.
Yes.
Roman is a weekly guy.
Perfect. Tembrion. Awesome.
Josh, you're in the wrong room.
Tally that one. I think you're right. Let me ask you this. So we were talking, Mr. Chaos here, Mike, and we were talking, what do we start renaming these since they're not pay-per-views? We think that we call them peacocks, like Peacock 1, Peacock 2, when they start showing up on Peacocks. What are we going to call them? What do we do? They're not pay-per-views anymore because you don't have to pay for them. Or people still do, maybe, I guess. Do they?
Well, you can. So here's the thing with Peacock is, at least with Comcast or Xfinity, you get their $4.99 version, which has some commercials for free, included with your Comcast or Xfinity. I don't know if every cable service is like that or not, but you can pay $9.99 for no commercials. I'm going to pay the $9.99.
Okay. So here's a cool question Elvis asked me. Josh, what's your favorite figure you currently have and why? My current favorite figure I have right now is the Fiend figure that I got. That's a ringside exclusive that hasn't been opened, is still in a box and stuck up somewhere where I can't touch it.
You know what's crazy? I have nowhere near as many figures as you, but I don't think I think my favorite is the ones that are coming. The ones I just cash apped you for one of them literally a second ago.
Oh, right. I am too, dude. Like I just boxed them. I didn't realize how big they were until I boxed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't wait. You're gonna have to video the unboxing because I would put FedEx.podgo, that whole podgo.co /FedEx. I'd put that to shame. I would because that good.
Maybe my Ivar because of who it is. Maybe it's the Undertaker is Kane, or maybe it's the Edge with the Edge heads, which I have one here for you. I got to ship out to you.
It's tough, man. I mean, honestly, if it's
Mike,
an elite,
you're a figure guy because you shared that. I saw you shared the NWA John Cena.
Oh yeah, my favorite that I have in my collection right now is the Eddie and JBL 2-pack, the Adrenaline pack that I have.
That's a money pack, isn't it?
It's fucking so. There's a guy on eBay who's selling that figure right now for like $89 or $95 or something like that. I paid $40 for that bitch.
Josh found the WrestleMania celebration figures, the Andre and the Macho Man in the little ring thing that they came up in, and grabbed those for me. I just cash apped them for him.
Dude, they're so cool. They're freaking huge.
Yeah,
I got Timber the Andre one, and they're big.
There's a figure set that I want. It's Eddie versus Ray from Halloween Havoc 97. It's a 2-pack, and I've seen them all over the place, but every time I see them, they're selling for $900.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
What?
Yep.
That's crazy. I want the Macho Man in the Slim Jim package. It was San Diego Comic-Con. And I thought that thing was expensive because that sells for around $100 to $150.
Yeah, it's 900. 800 is the cheapest I've ever seen it.
Wow.
Let me see if I can find it. Ray versus
I guess
Eddie.
we know what you would do if you would hit the lottery, huh?
No, I'd buy a house. First thing, I'd buy my own house.
My favorite fig that Timber and I probably have together is that Andre the Giant that I bought her for Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's a nice figure. There was an Andre that came out years ago. I think it was at Jack's, one of the classics. And he had the machine head. He had the mask and stuff, but it was soft. It wasn't like you have the one where you can swap the head.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's $600 from Mercari. Let me see if I can.
But that's Mercari. Mercari is as good as Wish. Like, that's crazy. Like, you don't know if figures get faked. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, I don't have eBay anymore because fuck those guys. But let me see if I can find the one I saw on.
Really? Do you guys get duped on eBay, huh?
No, eBay has some fucking stupid ass rules, and a place that I used to work at had me running their eBay account. And since they got their eBay account shut down, anytime I try to open one personally, eBay shuts it down.
So you and JP are in the same boat.
Yeah, that's like PayPal. I open up a PayPal account, and within a day, it gets closed down for some reason.
Hey JP, I'm going to share this because do you know that I haven't sent this picture to you yet, but in Pro Wrestling Crate, and this is kind of where, like, for the last 10 minutes, I want to touch on this because it ties into where we started with women's pro wrestling and Mission Pro. Those little, what do they call those little micro? What the hell?
The micro brawlers.
Micro brawlers.
Do you know Timber got one of the variants of the Jake the Snake last month? Did you know that?
Did she really?
One of the 250 of that pro wrestling tee. I
wonder what that's selling for.
I don't know. I have no idea. It's stuff like that. Like when people are like,
look what I just found. I just opened up a Pro Wrestling Crate.
Oh, you got your Glacier
mask. That's fucking sick.
Glacier.
I just happened to open one up.
Oh. All right, so let's go with that. Who's your favorite jobber of all time?
Barry Horowitz.
Gilbert. Barry's a great guy, but
Barry Horowitz.
I'm gonna go something a little bit more recent, just because I like how retarded this guy is, and say Super Crazy.
Okay.
Can I change my answer for 1 second?
Yeah,
Would Eugene count as a jobber?
Yeah.
I think so. Absolutely.
Okay, then Eugene's my favorite. I had to think. I had to rethought. I was too quick. It
So,
just happens sometimes.
And when I say Gilbert, I actually mean Dwayne Gill. Like Dwayne Gill was around forever before the
Yes.
Gilbert deal, and I just was always entertained by his matches.
Yeah, that's the same way I am about Super Crazy. Like the
Here's
80s
the crazy
and
part
90s
about
jobbers are not my favorite.
what was good about Super Crazy is that I forget he was a jobber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's how good he was.
Yeah, I miss the Lucha Libre on WCW. I do. I miss.
Oh,
that.
dude, the
Lucha
Psychosis
Libre,
and Rey Mysterio stuff in ECW.
Do you know that they're talking about bringing an actual Lucha Libre show to either Peacock or WWE? They just haven't figured it out yet. Not so much a Lucha Underground style, but still a Lucha Libre specific show that focuses on the Lucha Libre style and building those characters up.
Will it be wrestling though, or will it be like that MFKZ?
God, I wish it was MFKZ.
I don't
So,
know what
yeah.
MFKZ is, so I
Look up MFKZ on Netflix.
If it's MFKZ, we'll do that all day long. I would.
But
I would
what
do
about
that all day long.
Rock's new show, Young Rock?
meh.
I know. I mean, I'm gonna check it out.
MFKZ, this cartoon.
Yes,
Ken Michael, Vince Staples,
like Michael Chiklis is in there.
Chickless, RZA, Danny Trejo. Okay, I might have to check this out.
Yeah,
Vince Staples, that's funny.
Josh turned me on to this about a year ago. It's great.
Yeah, if they could do something like that, I'm glad you brought that up. Like where it is cartoon voiceovers, wrestling, it would be fun, and you could intertwine. But for me, this is my mind, right? You have the same characters in ring, but you also have vignettes of the cartoon portions of that.
Yeah,
So
I could
it's
dig
just-
with that.
It's just little things for me, and that's when we started talking about this, like how does Roman Reigns, like the writing is the hardest part for me, because psychology is where I eat, sleep, and breathe when it comes to pro wrestling, because if there's no psychology in the match,
It doesn't mean shit.
no, it's just it's like watching AJ Styles and Hardy on Raw. They've been doing it for so long. It's like they're going through the motions. There's no psychology in that. They're just throwing a couple guys out there that are filling a spot where they could put some psychology in a lot of that, and builds. Man, Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles and TNA, there was some sick ass shit going on there. You could really build off of that in the right manner. And I feel like that's the downfall when we talk about women's pro wrestling in not just WWE as a whole,
AEW, Impact,
yeah, you
ROH.
you put in a Bianca Belair was supposed to have the elimination that would begin to tell the story of how she begins to become Bayley's nemesis on the show. And the shitty part is like the cameras missed it. I don't know if you guys have seen any of this, but the elimination, her Bianca Belair's elimination of Bayley, you didn't see it. Nobody got. That's the psychology I'm talking about. There's no visual impression in anybody's head of, oh my god, did you guys see Bianca Belair eliminate Bayley? No, they had to tell us that happened.
Yeah.
So
it's
for me, it's messy. It's all over the place. It's decentralized. I think there's a lot of people making decisions based off of emotion and not doing the right thing. I think it's corporate based, and it's a giant. It's a beast. It is what it is. And that's why I'm so frustrated with why AEW's women's division struggles, because they don't have the same restraints and they can do anything that they want. And I don't know, man. It struggles. I mean, Statlander getting hurt, put it down. But
I think the reason they struggle so much is because you don't have, like, I was not a fan of Britt Baker when AEW first came out, just because like she seems like vanilla, very boring, same old bullshit, right?
Robotic.
Yeah, and then I started actually listening to her talk, watching her work, and I'm like, oh no. She knows what she's doing. She just needs a push in the right direction.
Right.
I think, unfortunately, with AEW, WWE, even back in the day, had Finley to push the women and say, hey, look, if you want to go this style and hard hit and fight and shit like that, I'm fucking Fit Finley. I can show you how to do that shit.
Right.
I don't think AEW has that. I think Billy Gunn is the overall coach of everything. He's the overall head producer and shit. And I think he has a great mind for the business. I don't think he understands women's wrestling, though. I think you need to bring somebody in who understands women's psychology is different than man's psychology. Like the basic elements are kind of the same, but men and women don't fight for the same reasons.
No, you can't go out there and have little Casey Catanzaro Flair and be able to sell that. Like, there's things that you can't do in matches because of size. Like, there's a reason why Andre didn't allow himself to be body slammed until it was time for him to be body slammed. I mean, that's the pieces of these puzzles that were missing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you guys, Eric Bischoff is the man for me. Like, when I look at people that are successful, is Eric Bischoff bullshitted his way to the top. But when he did that, what he decided to do was surround himself by people who knew what the fuck they were doing. And he learned the business from those people. Yep. And then made it his own. Yep. So when we're talking like Elimination Chamber that's coming up, like we're going to do predictions here soon. We're going to have an episode and have an elite. Hopefully we're going to get a giveaway. But man, when we talk about pro wrestling and Eric Bischoff, I think he's right. Is like AEW viewership is down to 800,000 now. I mean, that premiere episode was at 1.5 million. They haven't busted that since then, and they put on some good shows. So I'm still hesitant to invest a lot of time, and it's hard for me because a lot of the guys that we watched on Beyond in other places, it's hard. But I don't know, man.
So here's the problem that AEW I think faces, right? Mission Pro right now is serving as AEW's training grounds. If you look. Red Velvet comes from, she's Mission Pro. Genocide is Mission Pro. She's getting ready to be on AEW. Holly Dead does Mission Pro. Like all these big names. Thunder Rosa, obviously it's her shit, right? That comment pisses me off.
Well, I left it up there for a reason. I want
WWE to bring back HLA and bra and panties matches.
That's what Pornhub is for, Elvis.
Exactly.
That's what Pornhub is for.
Or go watch custom matches on
Love
Pornhub.
you, Elvis.
Go watch custom matches.
Or dude, Mission Pro, custom matches. Motherfucking
yeah.
Mission Pro does custom matches all the time, and they're great. They're fucking fantastic. But I think AEW suffers from they don't have an established person. I love Thunder Rosa, but let's face it, she's only been in the business for about 7 years.
Can I say a name to you, and I'll tell you what they're trying to find?
What?
Sarah Del Rey.
Yes. And Thunder Rosa, so here's my problem. I love Thunder Rosa. I'm the biggest Thunder Rosa mark in the world. I have her fucking autograph on my wall. I have 2 of her t-shirts coming. I have a bunch of I'm one of the biggest Thunder Rosa marks in the world. But what Thunder Rosa is doing that's smart is, do you know who runs her training school? Jazz. Okay. Do you know what Jazz has that Thunder Rosa doesn't have?
Experience.
20 plus years in the business. Exactly. You bring somebody like a Jazz in. Jazz is completely retired from in-ring competition. If AEW says to Jazz, come here, you. Help us with the women's division. You know what that does? It only elevates it. Thunder Rosa snatched up Jazz and said, hey, I don't have your experience. Come help me with my school. Help me whoop these kids into shape, and we'll figure this out. Thunder Rosa is getting that ball rolling to where I think by this time next year, Thunder Rosa is going to be full-time signed to AEW and their women's champ, and I think Jazz will be the main women's producer for AEW.
And Jazz is married to Rodney Mack too, so
and he's running her school. He's helping run her school.
Yeah, there's even more experience there. And that's not to say like you have to go like. I mean, there's so many schools in Texas that are like. I mean, I can think of two, and I live on the other side of the country.
Yeah, but don't you want to be with some trainers that have actually been to the biggest show?
I'm talking about Booker T and
Reality
HBK
wrestling.
school, though.
Reality or wrestling? 100%. I love Booker T.
And then you got Rudy Boy Gonzalez down there too, who trained HBK.
Yeah.
And I think it's still Sean's school.
No,
then,
Sean sold it when he moved to Florida.
Did he? Yeah. But I know it's still Rudy. I know it's still Rudy. It's
yeah.
I've sat in on a Rudy seminar up here, and you get like just sitting in on it. I learned.
Well, and that's the great thing about Texas being so goddamn big.
Right.
You have a Booker T. Like
there's like 5 different territories in Texas.
Fucking Hall of Famer. Did Jazz go Hall of Fame?
If not, she will.
She will. Rodney Mack was only in WWE for a cup of coffee, but he's been an indie wrestler for fucking years. But that's the thing is like, you know, when I got out of the Army, my first thought was, I want to go get in the wrestling business. And then I realized, oh, wait, I'm already fucking 31. My back is fucked up. My knees are fucked up. I'm not taking bumps like that. Fuck no.
Yeah.
But I have
the same thing here. It was, you know, I didn't do the military, but it was pretty much the same experience here. And yeah, like I did go out and I did get involved, but not in it. So.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we've been going for an hour. So that means we are at the end of the show.
No,
damn, I want Mike to finish. I feel like I dominated the shit out of the show. Talk too much.
No, it was a good share portion. Go ahead.
Where are you? Tell us how to find you, Mike. Where's Chaos Theory Podcast? Tell us all about you.
So you can find me on Twitter at chaos_theory_pod, Instagram at chaos_theory_podcast. You can find me on whatamaneuver.net. That actually may be shutting down real soon because now you can find me on teespring.com/chaos club. Teespring.com is better because it offers hoodies, sweaters, onesies, V-necks, COVID masks, socks, bikini tops, coffee mugs, stickers. So all of that with the Chaos Club logo on it. You can also find us, all three of us, on fullpresscoverage.com, fullpresswrestling.com, patreon.com/chaos theory podcast. I'm all over the goddamn internet. And if you're in Texas and you want to learn how to really be a responsible firearms owner, look for Point of Impact training. I will travel to you. I will come train you how to shoot. We will go to the range. I will make sure that you are a responsible and safe firearms owner, USCCA certified.
And then I'll come in with some Tannerite and show you how to blow some fucking shit up.
Fuck yeah.
Isn't like how big is that? That has to be a huge industry in Texas.
It is. So I would tell you this.